It's 12:31. Welcome everybody to the first community show of 2026. Today we are going to be speaking with Sriraj about our Reltio Intelligent 360. Um, Sriraj, if you could go to the next slide, please. As always, these sessions are recorded and will be posted to the community within the next 24 hours or so. If you have any questions, please ask them in the chat. You can also use the raise your hand feature if you'd like to ask something kind of immediately, but please keep yourselves on mute. And if we don't get to your question, we will send a follow-up email or also include the answer to your question in our blog post along with the recording. And I will lead or introduce you off to Sriraj. Oh, you're on mute, Sriraj.
Okay, sorry.
There.
That was, yeah. Okay, cool. Everybody can hear me? Okay, awesome. Cool. Just before we get started, my name is Sriraj. I'm with the product team here at Reltio, and I'm excited to be here as part of our inaugural community show in 2026. So happy New Year to everyone. And before I get started, just a safe harbor statement that, will make my lawyers happy. You're going to see a lot of features that are futuristic in this demo. So please consider only features that are GA as part of any of your purchasing decisions. And as some of these features are subject to change. So with that said, let's get into the actual topic. Uh, okay, cool. So again, thank you again for joining this community webinar, whether you're a customer, a partner, or exploring Reltio for the first time. I think in 2025, we saw a massive shift in how enterprises think about AI and adopt AI. We're definitely moving from AI that analyzes to AI that reasons, and eventually to AI that acts, or what we call as agentic AI. But there is a hard truth behind all of this talk, and that agentic AI is only as good as the data foundation that it runs on. If you think of AI as a shiny Ferrari, uh, it the Ferrari isn't of much use if you're running it on a dirt road. You need a smooth road that's efficient and can help the car perform to its maximum. So in the same way, that road that we're talking about is your data foundation. And in today's conversation, we'll explore how Reltio's Intelligent 360 platform provides you that foundation that enables that trusted identity, rich context, and real-time interactions that AI agents can safely and effectively operate on. Before we do that, I would like to spend a minute or two in zooming out and looking at the various platforms that make up Reltio's data cloud suite, right? Reltio's data cloud combines our industry-leading multi-domain MDM that delivers your best-in-class trusted identity information. If you're already a customer or a partner, you know that. Additionally, there's another platform that we call as Intelligent 360 that combines some of the elements of the MDM platform, but enables a more powerful data graph by linking profiles with interactions and behavioral context. And our latest offering, which we went GA in last October, is Agent Flow, which provides the end-to-end agent orchestration that leverages the trusted profiles or the data graph from either of the other two platforms to power that agentic AI orchestration on your data. Reltio's data cloud is designed to unify multi-source core business data into interoperable trusted information. What's different is that this isn't just about analytics or dashboards, even though that's possible. That's very much a use case that many of our customers do use Reltio for, but the platform is designed for operational AI, right? So key capabilities that make it ready for operational is ultra low latency delivery, something again that we released in 2025 with our data delivery network, as well as a semantic graph-based data layer so that AI understands the relationships and not just rows of data, right? We've also provided enterprise-grade security and compliance from day one, with which agents can take action on. This is what helps customers go from experimentation to production with confidence. And our focus for today's conversation is on the Intelligent 360 block. and the components that make up this platform, as well as how it works in conjunction with other elements of Reltio's data cloud. So let's get into that. So in this slide, we're talking about what's at the heart of Intelligent 360 platform, which is the intelligent data graph, right? Enterprise organizations today don't operate on isolated records. They operate on networks of entities and interactions between those entities. Intelligent 360 resolves the identity and unifies entities like customers, accounts, products, suppliers, locations. But the real power of Intelligent 360 comes from linking these identities to high volume interactions, whether it be orders, campaigns, service events, digital behaviors such as web clicks or email responses. And Reltio's intelligent data graph brings together that entity centric data, also augmenting with attributes and behavioral information. The resulting profiles that you get to view within Intelligent 360 are context rich, but what makes it truly impactful is that this incredibly rich context, all connected, so you can extract the full meaning of all this information and you can understand that better and deliver it to your agentic AI applications. But let's explore that question. Like, why does this rich graph actually matter for agentic AI, right? Because agents don't just need facts, they need context, like who is a customer right now, what changed recently, or how are they connected to each other. With this graph, an AI agent can reason across relationships as well as timelines, enabling decisions that are more human-like. And that's the key difference, right? Reltio's data graph enables that semantic layer for your data, so your AI agents have complete context that they need to make the right autonomous decisions for your business. Let's just take a simple use case of a manufacturing use case, right? Operational resilience depends on how smoothly data flows across the entire value chain. By connecting key domains such as products, orders, suppliers, and sites, manufacturers can gain a unified view of everything from bill of materials to certifications to customer orders and factory output. This connected foundation, data foundation, helps align production with the demand, ensuring appropriate compliance as well as appropriate fulfillment rates. So whether it is quote to cash, all of those various business processes in that manufacturing supply chain are better informed and better acted upon when you have this connected data graph. And when you have agents operating on those business processes, they can make use of this connected data graph to drive that autonomous decision making that is key for AI to be successful in the organization. Now, getting to okay, so now let's assume that we've understood the value, how to construct a 360 view, the data graph. What can you do with it, right? So there are basically three maturity levels in how organizations use 360 data, and this is what we call as the Enigma, right? The Enigma has also 360 leveraging 360 or obtaining 360 view of your data assets has been a desire for a long time. Regardless no matter how long you go, companies have been trying it, vendors have been having products around 360, but it's remained an enigma. Everybody wants it, nobody's actually been successful in achieving it. And a lot of it stems down to how to use it and how to actually leverage it in various business applications. There's been a decent amount of usage in marketing, but it's not been able to spread out beyond that, right, into other core business processes beyond marketing. So there's three levels of maturity in that. The first is a basic 360 view where you just link resolved identities to interactions. And this answers questions like, what has this customer done? For instance, when we link a customer profile with their social media interactions, marketing, service interactions, and purchasing data, we create a 360 view of that customer's behavior. The 360 view of data at this stage is purely just linkages and doesn't have any additional computations performed on it. Such views do have a reasonable application, for instance, in a service desk application where the service agent finds it useful for viewing the last 10 purchases or return interactions of the customer. So that would be a very useful view of data for your service representative to have when they're talking to customers. The second is what we call as derived insights or derived views, where we compute metrics such as lifetime value, engagement scores, or recent activity windows. For example, calculating lifetime value of customers, total purchase value, and such, these calculations are performed on the data associated with profiles or with groups of profiles, also known as segments. and can be used to identify subgroups of entities for targeted action. But the real leap in leveraging 360 data happens with the agentic AI workloads. Here, AI agents can continuously observe the entity level data, perform calculations and reasoning per entity, as well as trigger actions like outreach, or reaching out to the customer, risk flags, or personalizing content that is being delivered to the customer. And this is where the Intelligent 360 platform stops being a passive system and helps make those active decisions for your business in your agentic applications. Here's a quick map of the various business value that can be enabled or derived from 360 views by industry or across business functions, right? Agentic AI isn't industry specific, but the context required is definitely industry specific. Because, for example, in healthcare, agents can support readmission reductions or patient engagement by understanding the way patients interact, across various parts of the healthcare system. Similarly, in financial services, agents can identify fraud patterns or personalize wealth advice using behavioral signals. And lastly, in retail or B2B, agents can detect churn risk, abandoned carts, or cross-sell opportunities in real time looking at customer interactions. Historically, delivering such value required custom pipelines or long development cycles with hard-coded business logic. With Intelligent 360, agents can directly consume trusted context and drastically reducing time to delivery. This is a very high-level snapshot of how the Intelligent 360 platform works end to end. We begin with connecting and ingesting, bringing in data from various operational systems, digital channels, data lakes. And a key feature here that is there within Intelligent 360 is the ability to do zero copy interaction, right? Where we can access data in many of your data sources without having to actually migrate that data into Reltio. So that's a very critical feature that enables the construction of these 360 views and powers that. Next is unifying, cleansing, and enriching, where the platform helps to resolve identities using AI as well as rule-based matching, verifies the information, contact level information, whether it's address, phone, email, builds households and groups so you can understand the linkages between your customers. And then we construct the intelligent data graph where we link profiles to behavioral and transactional data. This is where, again, like I said in one of the earlier steps, with that zero copy integration, you don't have to really move in the data to make those linkages. You can actually, link them where they are, where they reside. Finally, we segment and we operationalize, powering downstream applications, analytics, and agentic workloads. The key point is that this pipeline is built for continuous real-time intelligence and not just batch-based insights. Right. So from a feature set, these you can broadly divide the features within the Intelligent 360 suite into two major categories. Obviously, there's a little bit more, but into two major categories. The first category is segmentation that allows teams to create precise audiences using both profile and interaction data and activate them anywhere, as well as interaction management, which handles high volume behavioral data, helps construct interaction timelines, does multi-entity linking, and the zero copy integration. Together, these capabilities allow your agents to understand who they're dealing with, see what's happening now, and allows those AI agents to act autonomously with confidence. And this is what makes Intelligent 360 very powerful for agentic architecture. We're now going to get into a demo. In this demo, we'll give you a quick overview of the Intelligent 360 platform. We'll do a segmentation use case. We'll also show you how the interaction timeline is constructed and how zero copy works behind the scenes. So let me move the profile. So, okay. All right. So this is, I'm assuming all of you can still see my screen here. So in this is a view of the Reltio platform. You may be familiar with this if you're already using the Reltio platform in some form or fashion. This is a profile view, as we call it, right? So we're looking at an individual here, and in this individual, you're looking at the profile data. So there's various demographic information, there's identifiers, there's privacy, and so on. You can create various facets of information out there. But what you get with Intelligent 360, which you wouldn't get with the MDM platform, is this bucket called segmentation, right? So now, when you have all this information about your customers, your suppliers, your products, you can segment them and create different buckets or audiences of these profiles. And when you segment them, you have both bidirectional linkage. You can go into the segment and see who and all belong in that segment, or you can come into the profile and see which segments this profile belongs into. So this is a case of the latter, where we're looking at an individual's profile, and we're seeing the various segments that the profile belongs to. So this, and I'll show you the other view as well shortly. And then you will see this additional tab, which is only available in the Intelligent 360 platform, is the interaction view. So in this interaction view, I can go in there and I can see all the various interactions that are associated with this profile. So here is a whole bunch of interactions that have been recorded in a data warehouse like Snowflake or Databricks or any your data warehouse of choice, and it's being pulled in from there using zero copy integration. And you can see that, okay, this person's had so many educational interactions, promotional interactions, so on and so on and so forth. So this is being pulled from that data warehouse using our zero copy integration. If you do not have a cloud data warehouse that you're leveraging for this, Reltio also offers the ability to store interactions within Reltio. We do have a different storage layer for that. So you can import your interactions from various operational systems into Reltio. So you may have a situation where high volume interactions go into a data warehouse and low volume interactions come into Reltio. It's a common scenario we've seen with our customers. So that's also very well accommodated with this platform. You can filter on the interaction types. You can define interaction types in the data modeler. You can filter on those interaction types. And you can do advanced filtering as well. So you can do date ranges, you can do, of a certain attribute equals certain value, and so on and so forth. So all of these are capabilities that are provided by the Intelligent 360 platform. Then on the left side menu, as you will see, you will also see this additional feature called segmentation. This is a part of the Intelligent 360 platform. So if I go into the segmentation feature, you will see, you will come to the screen where you will see all the various segments that are visible, the segments that are private to you, as well as ones that you have marked as favorite. And in this case, I have created a bunch of segments, but we'll create one real time here. So let's say I'm going to create a segment. And I'm going to just say I want to segment individuals who reside in the state of, let's say, California, for example, or Arkansas. Okay, so let's just say, okay, so I want to reside. So here you get a real-time preview. So there are 700,000 individuals in this sample database, and of those, 27 are in the state of Arkansas. So you can further drill these down further and further. And so there's two ways to segment. You can either segment on profile information, or you can also segment on interaction information, or a combination of both. So in this case, I've segmented on profile information, which is information that's part of their core identity and stored within Reltio. So in that case, you get a real-time refresh of the profile and the segments. So I'm just going to cancel out of this. And if I go into one of these here, this is about those who live in Irvine, California. And if I look at the profiles, you can see the 841. So you can see a preview of those profiles as well that are in this. You can also see activity log. I guess we haven't made any changes to this, but if you make changes to a segment, those will be recorded in the activity log. You can also activate, or what we call as deliver these downstream to a destination. So in this case, we want to send this to a CDP. We can send that. We can send it on a scheduled basis. So you can export the profiles that belong to this particular segment to a downstream platform using Reltio's integration hub. The various connectors that are, you can create a recipe so that it can send to those destinations. And the segmentation is dynamic in the sense that today, let's say of these 841 profiles, let's just say Abbas Hariri today, who lives in Irvine, California, moves to Arkansas. This particular segment is dynamic in the sense that every time it is recalculated, it will then move Abbas out of this particular segment into the other segment that you may have for Arkansas. So it is dynamically recalculated based on the schedule you define. right? Um, so that is segment definition. So let's go into a case where I have a segment with interaction information. So in this case, I have individuals with uh, an interaction, so promotional interaction. So I want to find all those individuals who have an interaction type of promotional. And so it says, okay, 4 out of the 700,000 have a promotional interaction before a certain date, and I can go and see the same preview of the profiles. Okay, this is still being processed. Okay, but you can see also the activity log here. And you can see that this is the activity log that's demonstrating the various changes that have been made to this profile over the time. So, we've made edits here and there. So you get a full history log of the various changes that have been made to this segment definition. So when you segment on profile information, which is information that is within Reltio, it is calculated real time. When you segment on information that is in an external warehouse, such as Snowflake or any other place where you store your interactions, the volume of data could be significant. Hence, it's not calculated real time, but rather it's calculated in a batch mode because you may have millions of interactions in your data warehouse, and hence it'll require time for it to process all of that. So you can schedule the batch refresh, but you can also force a refresh. So right now it is in a scheduled mode for refresh, but I can force the refresh by doing that. So in that case, if I go back to the home screen, it will, I don't know what happened here, but it will show that it's being queued for processing. And you can see that when it's done, it'll show, okay, it's available now, and you can go and see that. You can also go in and export the profiles that are in this segment. So you can click on this and it will export the profiles in this segment for you. I guess I have to re-authenticate for this. But you can do that, right? Um, you can move the segment into a particular folder, you can disable the segment, you can delete the segment, and you can edit the settings in which it is refreshed. So if you edit the settings, in this case it is public, private, but if it was a batch, if this was a batch mode, then you can also edit the schedule in which it is being refreshed on a daily basis. You can the lowest frequency is daily, but you can go up to weekly, monthly, and so on as well. So that's a quick demo of how segmentation, interaction, and the various components of Intelligent 360 work. And as you can see here, it's computing right now. This particular profile that we forced to refresh, it's computing. It'll be done after some time. And then you can see that you can also mark them as favorites. So you can organize your segments in folders. And all of this is role-based access control. So you can make sure that certain segments are only available to certain roles and such. So that's about the demo. Now let's just let's just go back to this one. So we talked about a quick overview of the Intelligent 360 platform. We saw a quick demo of the segmentation. We saw how the interaction timelines were constructed, as well as that behind the scenes using zero copy. So what's next? What's ahead in the roadmap for Intelligent 360 in 2026? We're introducing additional AI capabilities, including the ability to conversationally create segments. So an agent, if for those who may be familiar with our agent flow platform, which is our agentic orchestration, we are introducing a segmentation agent with which you can converse and help create and identify segments using AI ML models. We have also introduced support for Reltio-based interaction storage. So if you don't have a cloud data warehouse where you're storing certain interactions, you can import them into Reltio's interaction storage. Traditionally, we've been on the Google Cloud platform, but we're also supporting customers on AWS now. We have zero copy integration with Snowflake and Databricks available, and then later on in October of 2026, we'll also support AWS Redshift. We'll give the ability to do calculated or derived insights. What that means is you're looking at a whole bunch of customer profiles and interactions. You can now calculate their total lifetime value, their net promoter score, so on and so forth across those interactions, as well as additional activations to third-party life sciences or healthcare or financial services tools. So these are features that are planned for 2026 and a lot more. So just as a call to action, how to get started. If any of this seems interesting from today's conversation, I encourage you to reach out to your account exec or customer success manager for a deep dive. We can give you a more personalized demo of the Intelligent 360 platform. There's also the solution brief on Intelligent 360. I think I have a link on that one. This is the one on the website. Oops. Yeah, this one. And then we have our developer portal also has additional information on Intelligent 360, which is this particular link, right? So you will get some of these links in the content that's shared after this presentation. So that's about my conversation for today. So happy to take any questions. Do we have any questions in the audience?
I feel like this is the first time in a while we haven't had like a million questions.
All right. Anything on the chat? Nothing?
No, nothing in the chat.
Okay. Okay. Well, we will make this content available to you as well offline. But if you need any other questions, please always feel free to reach out to us. Happy to answer those.
And if you can go to the next
Sure.
slide there, Suraj. So as you guys know, we're kind of ramping up pretty quickly here with our community shows. We're running them every other week as normal. We have another show coming up on January 21st on Reltio data sharing with Databricks. So hopefully you can join that as well. Please, of course, look at the event page on community for any upcoming events, and we hope to see you again soon.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thanks, everybody.